I grew up in the world of metal and punk, in which I still do love. I do feel the need to finally see what the rest of the world has to offer. My name is Aaron, and I grew up as a metalhead. Well, welcome back, everybody. Hope that you're excited for some more. Now we are doing Hate You live because I want to hear what it sounds like. I've been practicing this song. Now, I guess, again, I've listened to this song a lot, but I want to see what it sounds like live. I want to see what he emphasizes. I want to see the finer details here. So let's hop right into this because, honestly, this is going to give me a lot of detail of what I need for when eventually I'm able to feel confident enough to finally start putting this to pen and paper and recording this.
I wish you went behind my back and told me lies and stuff like that. I wish you kissed someone I know and did that unforgivable. Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna hate you, I'm gonna hate you. Pay you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. We weren't perfect, but we came close. Until I put all of our pain under the microscope. And I still can't face it. I'm still in love, what it's worth. Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna hate you, I'm gonna hate you. Pay you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. It's not the truth, it's not the cure. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Couple things. So, what I really wanted to hear in this particular song live is kind of how he does it, because you know, there's a couple ways that you can go about going high, and that is kind of doing a more belty, kind of like what you would normally a lot of times hear. And there is also a subset of people that will kind of like do this like really soft kind of feel, and that's kind of what even more goes through, which is interesting because that's a little bit different than how I felt like it was on the album. It's a little more, like, I'd say a little more brought down. So I'm gonna hate you, instead of it being like, so I'm gonna hate you. And I think the thing that I have to say is that I actually like that, because when I listen to the live version of this song, it seems like that it's almost like the wound is fresh. It seems like when he sings it like this, that it's still like he's in shock. And it's like these are the first moments that are starting to formulate. And so instead of it being like the more part of the angry, like, so I'm gonna hate you, it's I'm gonna hate you. even though, you know, it's interesting. It's almost like, I don't want to say tender, but it's just like a little bit softer.
But you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. We weren't perfect, but we kept.
This part, I actually have to admit, I've been practicing, and this part's actually a little bit tricky because when he puts the and I put all of our pain under the microscope. He kind of, it's interesting how he does that for the breathing aspect of it.
Perfect, but we came close until I put all of our pain under the microscope, and I still can't face.
It's just like this, almost a couple extra just little notches there that just make it just like you really have to prepare yourself for that part, because a lot of times when you sing a little bit lower and breathy like this, it takes more air to put out, you know, because when you sing high and kind of more powerful, you can kind of use it and squeeze a little bit more from the diaphragm and kind of just like maintain and hold, whereas this one is kind of more like, you know, it's a little bit more tricky to get the breathing down because of that. And so for that reason, that part right there has actually kind of been tripping me up.
Until I put all of our pain under the microscope, and I still can't face it.
I love the added strings too. Wish that was actually in the original version.
I'm still in love for what it's worth. Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
And I love that. So this is a little bit on kind of that emotional, because he could have gone
It's the only way it doesn't hurt.
and kind of brought it out a little bit more, but he kind of has this intentional cutoff. He has this intentional cutoff to kind of like, as if he's kind of choking up on tears. So that right there is also, it's these little details here that just really make this song very unique and a little bit tricky to sing.
Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna hate you. I'm gonna hate you. Pay you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
And this part actually right here was changed on the album. It's he goes one like, it goes like this. He's changed that. And actually I have to say I like this better as well.
It's not the truth, it's not the cure. Hating you's the only way.
And here it comes again. He does that little cutoff there.
Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
Ooh. Look at that. He's feeling it too. It's really, really good. Honestly, this is a very, very good song. Like I said, these little details are what kind of make this a little bit tricky.
Wind behind my back and told me lies and stuff like that. I wish you kissed someone I know and did that unforgivable. Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
And that little drop down is almost exactly the mimic of like what would happen if you dropped and started to get emotional.
Hurt. So I'm gonna
So anyway, some little tweaks that he did for this, and I actually think that it works out for the better. Really kind of interesting things, and like I said, it's moments like this that when you listen to it live, you're like, what does he sing? What doesn't he sing? What does he emphasize? What doesn't he emphasize? There's a lot of decision that goes into this. Sorry, because in a sense, this is the product, right? This is the product. So for him, I think that this is just an interesting way to kind of just touch the emotion just a little bit further. Just grab that knob and just kind of turn it slightly past 10. It's not quite to 11, but it's there. And it's just this, the way that it's played out a little bit more is just a little bit more playful with that emotion, And I think the thing that's really kind of hard to understand when singing is what to emphasize, and a lot of times too, like when you sing on the vowels, that's what kind of creates the story building, the feel, the sound, But I think the interesting thing is that knowing how to place that, the writing behind that, to get that feeling, that immersion of just what he's going through, just singing the song, something to be studied. That's actually why I've been talking about it for the last little bit. So I hope you don't mind. I want to go through it one more time and kind of just get some last thoughts here.
I wish you went behind my back and told me lies and stuff like that. I wish you kissed someone I know and did that unforgivable.
Okay, so it's like I was saying a little while ago, this is actually a really good catch of detail. The space between. Notice how much he doesn't move his jaw. It's that smoothness that he jumps from vowel to vowel.
Unforgivable. Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
That actually provides that smooth feeling that you get. A lot of times when people think that they sing, they want like this, but in reality that jostles everything and kind of really affects the tone. So usually, and I explained this just a couple videos ago, but you almost want to make the vowel shapes and noises with just moving very limitedly, like your jaw. So you get that, gotta get that space in there, and then it's a, e, o, u, and then figuring out how to do the breathing, a, e, o, u, a, e, o, u, and you'll notice that when you just do that, you'll notice that you'll just kind of figure out basically that your mouth kind of just does it naturally.
We weren't perfect, but we came close until I put all of our pain under the microscope. And I still can't face it. I'm still in love, what it's worth. Maybe hate.
No bounce in that jaw. No bounce in that jaw. Very well kept right here.
Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna hate you, I'm gonna hate you. Pay you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way
this is the part that has the change. So it going ooh and going down like that. Ooh. He actually kind of brings it up. And you actually hear a little bit of the original one in the back. He's countering that.
It's not the truth. It's not the cure.
And in some ways, like, I think it's kind of interesting to help you visualize. Obviously, this is just kind of practice and not doing this live on my end. Is just kind of imagining how you push it out. So like that part right there, I feel like that it's like a push out.
It's not the cure. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
Great mouth positions and great use of that. One thing that I think is just quite textbook.
It's not the truth. It's not the cure. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
That's why a lot of times when you see people sing, instead of sometimes you'll kind of see him doesn't but yeah, got some work to do still. That's why I haven't really been trying to portray it, pose it out. It's this is a true studious moment for me, seeing what needs to be emphasized, what doesn't, what is necessary, where to emphasize, breathing, all that. Anyway, this is going on really long. I hope you don't mind. I'm getting kind of really down in the gritty for this one. Really, really down into it. So, anyway, we'll see you for the next one. You sneaky devil.